All right, guys. So Bethesda just put this up. I had to take a shower and all that good jazz. So I'm a little bit later to the party than normal. But they did just announce a bunch of freaking changes. So let's go ahead and dive straight into these. Because as soon as I get done with this, I'm going straight into Bioshock 2 live stream like I promised yesterday. So we'll get straight into that after this. I'll be stopping this stream and going into another one. So let's go ahead and we'll see who all is in here. Is it working? Yes or no? Because it looks like it's being a pain in the butt. Dixie Chicken. What's the Dixie Chicken? I need to know these things. We'll wait and see if anybody else filters in here real quick. Todd wants our brains to explode with next perk changes. No shit. Lurking. All right, Hokey. Welcome, welcome. Let me get Twitch up and running here. Today, Junior. I mean, for real, dude. There it is. That is the slowest fucking thing. All right. Sam, Junior, what is up? David, welcome. Kyle, welcome. Did I just see a notification saying yes, perk changes, combat changes, ammo changes, all of it. It's Iconic Bar at Texas. Oh, that's awesome, dude. And I can't see all the stuff at the beginning. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. Say something again so that way I can say hello because it's being a little biznatch. It won't let me scroll up. But anyway. But yeah, I agree with the FML there, Kyle. It's starting to get a little bit out of hand. Thank you guys for all the likes already. We'll wait just a couple more minutes for people to go ahead and filter in. But I hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. It is Friday. Does anybody have any good plans scheduled? I don't know exactly what I'm getting into, but I know I'm getting into trouble with one of my friends today. That's going to happen this evening. Yeah, so I think they're trying, Kyle, to try to like rebalance the game like completely. And so they're trying to make small adjustments along the way and then see how it works out with people. And then they're making more adjustments and more adjustments until they can completely facelift the game as far as how it's actually played. And then like they'll go back. But I thought that they were going to try to have most of it done by the time that we got the Ghoul class. But it seems like it's still kind of dragging on. It's wild that game can change so drastically damn near a decade later. Well, I mean, it kind of has to stay, you know, with the times, you know what I'm saying? Like, it almost needs to. You know, survival of the fittest type thing. All right, it doesn't look like anybody else is going to show up in here. Unless this thing is just broke as AF, which could be. It was acting kind of wonky yesterday. I was going to say, I'm sure it will all kind of work out, like, kind of come out in the wash, Kyle. So try not to get too upset about it. Because the thing is they change things, then they revert it back, and they change it. And right now, this is just going to be on the PTS. So try not to get too upset until it becomes official. And you know how the game is anyway. If you've been playing for a little bit, there's loads of changes. They break stuff. They fix stuff. It's a continuous kind of cycle. And it's like this with any game that's online for the most part, except for like WoW, it seems like. Dank, what's up? Welcome. How are you? Hello. What up, girl? All right, let's go ahead and we'll get into this. So in the Gone Fission patch notes earlier this month, we provided an update on how we felt the combat rebalancing project we started last year has gone so far. We also mentioned that in the article that we had a few more substantial updates to solidify the new foundation of combat for the future content we have planned. Today, we wanted to give you an early look at the combat rebalancing work that will arrive in our next PTS. We'll have more information for you about when this PTS will begin at a later date. This round of combat balancing adjustments has a strong focus on improving the experience of using weapons both in and out of VATS, as well as providing a significant boost to underperforming weapons. Some changes to highlight include significant increases to melee weapon damage. Kyle, that sounds like a win for you. Boosted damage over time effects and bashing with weapons now scaling with the player's level. Changes to the VATS formula and improved manual aiming feel. Adjustments have also been made across the board to make it easier for you to select weapons and mods that fit your desired playstyle, giving you more confidence that the weapons you want to play with will work across the wasteland. Due to these changes, we will also be making some targeted health and resistant adjustments to some of Appalachia's more prolific enemies, including but not limited to super mutants, enemies in power armor, and scorch beast. These creatures will now also have additional contrast in the resistances to better highlight their strengths and weaknesses versus each damage type. Since this is one of the largest numeric shifts the Fallout 76 combat has gone through, we'll be on the lookout for potential Fallout adjustments both within this PTS and in future patches. Let's see here. I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm a little like on the seat of my pants because, you know, this happened so fast and I got the other stream. My only annoyance is right now is my damn stick drift making me spin in circles. I was going to say it sounds like you need to clean your sticks, dude. Wow, did you do a complete overhaul with the Cataclysm expansion? You're hilarious. Cataclysm, really? They did it? Okay, I thought you were being smart ass. I just reread it again. Okay, yeah, they did a bunch of stuff, but the thing is like, they don't do it as frequently as other games do. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything kind of, I guess, goes smoother. I don't know. Autoaxe is also getting a crit buff. The Ooze. All right, let's see here. Is Ooze here? Hey, Ooze, what's up? How are you? Hello, hello. All right, so combat balance notes. Manual aim improvements. We've made changes to all ranged weapons to improve players' ability to hit targets outside of VATS. These changes vary per weapon and include smaller cone of fire, reduced recoil, additional shots can be fired before reaching peak recoil. Cone of fire now increases less as a result of moving. Reduced cone of fire while crouching sneaking, reduced cone of fire while aiming down sights. Spin-up weapons such as the minigun and gat laser now have reduced recoil after firing for a short period of time. Have reduced recoil. Okay, well, that's nice. Reduced camera movement for many weapons, actions in first-person view. This includes firing, reloading, and post-fire actions such as bolt action animations. Medium and long scopes have additional zoom levels. Press the VATS button to toggle between 2 or 3 zoom levels, depending on the scope. Note: when first aiming down a scope, you'll begin at the lowest zoom level. We've listed some general expectations for how weapons will behave below. Please note that mods can have a significant impact on weapon behavior, so these descriptions refer to the unmodded versions of each weapon type. Pistol. Reasonable accuracy in all situations, retains accuracy pretty well while moving, and minimal recoil. Revolver. Somewhat of a bridge between regular pistols and a single shot rifle. Accurate at long ranges, but needs to remain still and aim down sights for best accuracy. Sounds about right with a revolver. Recoil is higher than many other weapons. Shotgun. Spread improves while crouching or aiming down sights. Not especially accurate and has higher recoil than most other weapons. I mean, these all seem like true to life. Submachine gun. Doesn't have the same peak accuracy in various situations as pistols or rifles, but easier to use while moving. Semi-automatic rifle. Solid accuracy at long range. Strong benefits from crouching and aiming down sights. Not especially accurate relative to some other weapons while moving. Single shot rifle, highest overall accuracy at longest ranges. I don't know why I can't say longest. Fare best while crouching and aiming down sights. Not very accurate while moving, and cone of fire takes longer to recover than other weapons. So if you're moving, it's going to take longer for that to recover. Ballistic heavy weapon. Reasonable overall accuracy and controllable recoil during sustained fire, but not as precise as other weapons. Spin-up weapons fare better here. Good recoil and cone of fire benefit from crouching and aiming down sights. 50 cal machine gun maintains more accuracy while moving than other heavy autos. The light machine gun can act somewhat as a bridge between a heavy weapon and an automatic rifle. It can be more precise at longer ranges than a heavy weapon, but it isn't as accurate while moving. Laser and plasma weapons. I mean, Rambo would probably, want to argue that. Doubt they're going to make me better at hitting targets. Feel like a stormtrooper. I was going to say, well, at least you're owning it. Laser and plasma weapons. Weapons with laser projectiles typically are more accurate and have less recoil than ballistic weapons. Plasma projectiles are usually somewhat in between. Same for alien blaster and disintegrator. Explosive launcher. High recoil, but doesn't have a strong impact on accuracy due to the low rate of fire. Not very accurate. I'm trying to make all the words run together. Not very accurate relative to other weapons. Low accuracy while moving. That's the southern way to do it anyway. Just run all the words right together. Make it one word instead of a sentence. VATS. The formula for calculating hit chances in VATS has been rewritten rewritten to be more consistent and intuitive. Overall hit chances with most weapons will be higher. Distant, smaller, and more difficult enemies will sometimes be harder to hit. Here's a basic overview of how it works. The formula begins with an assumption of max hit chance of 95%. Various factors reduce your hit chance, such as distance to the target, visibility of the target, difficulty of hitting each of the target's body parts, your weapon's range, cone of fire, recoil, fire rate, etc. Curvature of the earth, wind speed. No, I'm just kidding. Perks, weapon mods, etc. can improve each of these factors or directly increase your hit chance. Perception reduces some of the penalties of a large cone of fire and long distance to the target relative to your weapon's maximum range. So your perception is going to impact all this, just like it's supposed to. Beyond about half a weapon's range, hit chance steadily decreases to 0%. Below about half of a weapon's range, penalties to hit chance are reduced. As you close in on point blank range, hit chance will increase until you have a very high chance of hitting the target. So it's all like true to life type stuff. So like if it makes sense in real life, it's going to make sense in the game basically. Additional VATS, but see at the same time it's VATS. I don't like that because VATS is supposed to be like, auto targeting. I mean, that's what it stands for. Carl! Andy, what's up? So many changes. Splicer, what is up? How are you? That's cool. Such as mezzanine lights in your way. Exactly, the mezzanine lights, dude. Those fucking mezzanine lights. Thanks, guys, for all the likes. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Players can no longer target body parts on the opposite side of enemies, such as the ultragenic shield generator through the front of the EN06 Guardian. The distance to target calculation for large enemies now begins on the outer bounds of the creature rather than the center of the creature. This improves hit chance for many large creatures such as the Scorch Beach Queen. That doesn't make any sense because center mass is always the easiest thing to hit. Daniel, welcome. All right, fucking mezzanine lights. Okay, explosion changes. Adjusted many player weapon explosions so they lose less damage towards the outer edge of the explosion. Made adjustments to the Fat Man experimental MIRV and frag grenade MIRV explosions to have a wider spread for the MIRV projectiles. Fire arrows no longer have an explosion that causes nearby targets to catch fire. Well, that sucks. Increase the damage dealt by explosive arrows. Explosion force reductions. We've adjusted the impact force of many explosions so they no longer push corpses and objects as far. We've also made adjustments so the impact force of certain explosions was more appropriate to the size and scale of each explosion. This change does not affect the damage dealt by these explosions. So these are all the things that got adjusted. There's a ton. Storm Goliath weapons, plasma grenades, floater freezer death, Fanatic Protectron suiciders, explosions that occur during the spin the wheel, exploding palm from the legendary perk, Diebot, Tester Metal, and the I-Bomb. Detonation Contagion, legendary perk. Collateral Damage, legendary perk. So there's some of that. Brahmin Corpse from the camps. Like from your camp, like you put it down. Thunder Crab, Appearance, Dangerous Pastimes. Turbo Furt Grenade, various exploding vehicles. Workshop Artillery, Vertibird Death. Mole Rat Landminer. Missile Strikes during Invaders from Beyond. Grafted Monster Oil Bomb. So it's a lot of stuff. Flatwoods Monster Beam Attack. Explosive Baits. Explosion size adjustments. So the Bug Grenade got an extra 30% increase. Cryo got 20%. Cryo Mine got 20%. The Frag Grenade with the initial explosion is 40%. The resulting projectiles is 50%. I don't even know how to even put that into words. Thirst Zapper Nuka Cherry Gun is 92%. Cola is 220%. And the Nuka Quantum got a negative 43% reduction. The Fat Man experimental MIRV initial explosion is 150% increase. Floater, Flamer, Freezer, and Natural Grenades all got an increase, with the Flamer getting 150% and the other two getting 120%. Frag Mines is an additional 20%. Additional explosion adjustments, Explosion VFX for the explosive legendary mod and ultrasight laser weapons, and the V63 laser carbine now match the weapon's projectile color. Reduce the frequency of grenades, mines, and explosive weapon ammo in containers and enemy loot. So we're not going to be finding grenades as often on enemies and in containers. Increase the crafting cost of Nuka and Nuka Quantum grenades. So it's going to cost us more to make those. So if you like to make nuka grenades, like for your West Tech runs or whatever, so that way you can grind. You might want to do that and put them onto a mule, because it's going to cost us more crap to make them, it looks like. I don't know exactly what that means. I guess we'll find out on the PTS. It means your accuracy is calculated based on the distance from the field around the enemy rather than the distance from the center of mass. So you'll probably gain 10% on the probability number. Numbers, words, and things exactly. I'm making nuka grenades ASAP. I was going to say, I use them sometimes to run West Tech. Bro, I love spamming events with nuke grenades because I know people hate it. That's terrible, Sam. Don't do that. Don't be that dude. Don't be that dude. All right, let's see here. Weapon-based damage. I mean, it's much better now since the whole camera doesn't shake, but still. Like, if you're just killing everything, it's not very nice. Anyway. Weapon-based damage, 50 cal machine gun, 43 to 42, good God, 44 revolvers going from 132 to 161, 10 millimeter submachine gun, 42 to 72, 10 millimeter, 45 to 77. Alien blaster, 59 to 72, alien disintegrator, 66 to 80, assault rifle, 66 to 112, it's almost double. Good night. Assault round blade, physical, 51 physical, 115 physical, so it's going from 51 to 115. 10 bleed per second for 10 seconds. Auto access 24 to 32. Auto grenade launcher 3 impact 117 explosion going to 3 impact 244 explosion. Baseball bat 69 to 182. Baseball grenade 175 to 346. Baton 47 to 115. Bear arm 63 to 160. Black powder blunderbuss 347 to 346, so just a slight decrease on that one. Black powder pistol, though, significant increase, 347 to 751. Black powder rifle, also significant, 449 to 857. Blast mine, 225 to 379. Board, 63 to 152. Bone club, 60 physical, 2 bleed per second for 5 seconds is going to 142 physical and 42 bleed per second for 15 seconds. Jesus, that's a significant increase for that bone club. I mean, Geez. Bone hammer, 94 to 228. Bow, 95 to 194. Bowie knife, 35 to 77. Boxing glove, 40 to 124. It's 3 times the amount there. Broadsider, 5 impact, 135 explosion is now 5 impact and 688 explosion. Cattle prod, 109 energy. It's 84 physical and 84 energy. It doesn't say what the physical is. So it got a decrease, but I'm not sure. Oh, so it's getting physical and energy buff? Like they just broke it into 2 different types because there's the arrow there. Okay. Chainsaw, 16 to 28. Chinese officer sword, physical is 42. It's going to increase to 142 with 15 bleed per second for 12 seconds. Circuit breaker is going to 64 to 80. Combat knife, 42 to 87. Combat rifle, 53 to 95. Combat shotgun is 150 to 206. Commie whacker is 5 to 14. Compound bow is getting doubled at 112 to 244. Cremator, 100 fire impact, 20 fire explosion, 29 fire per second for 6 seconds. Is now going to be 140 fire impact, 32 fire explosion, and 32 fire per second for 6 seconds. Crossbow, 111 to 253. Crusader pistol, 56 to 80. Cryo grenade is 50 cryo, is now going to be 396 cryo. That thing got a buff. The mine is going to be 175 cryo and is now 396 cryo. Cryolator, 41 to 47. Cultist blade, 52 physical, 100 to 150 physical with 14 bleed per second for 12 seconds. Cultist dagger is 38 to 84. Death Tambo is 53 to 133. Deathclaw gauntlet is 69 to 182. Dynamite, 175 to 449. We'll be able to kill a shit pile of fish with that now. Just kidding. I wish we could. Dynamite bundle, 225 to 777. Nuka launcher, go boom. Kyle, you should try them out. I was going to say, yeah, we use them in West Tech. Yeah, so far it seems very positive. I don't disagree. See, but this is the thing, though. Sometimes they say something and it sounds super negative and it's super positive. Sometimes they say something super positive and when you put it into action, it's super negative. I have no idea how they do that, but it's magic. Like, seriously, I'm like, that sounds really good. And then it comes out and it's like, what the fuck did they do? And I'm like, I don't understand what this means, obviously. That's why I give up on trying to explain it, because the thing is like sometimes like they do something else to something else and like I don't know. It's like a trickle down whatever. But anyway. Explosive bait is going from 200 to 396. Fat Man, 5 impact, 455 explosion is now 5 impact and 1,386 explosion. Fire Axe, 84 to 204. Flamer, 29 to 32. Floater National Grenade, 79 poison, 40 poison per second for 12 seconds is now 182 poison. 182 poison per second for 40 seconds. Floater Flamer Grenade, 124 fire, 50 fire per second for 5 seconds is now 300 fire with 300 fire per second for 4 seconds. So those things are getting buffed. Floater Freezer Grenade, 99 cryo is now 346 cryo. Frag Grenade, 150 to 300 got doubled. Frag Mine, 150 to 362. Gamma Gun, 85 to 152. Gatling Gun, 86 to 103. Gat Lasers, 25 to 25, so no change there. Gat Plasma, 31 physical, 31 energy, is now 28 physical and 28 energy, so a slight decrease. Gauntlet, 63 to 160. Gauss Minigun, 50 to 53. Gauss Pistol, fully charged, 218 impact with 33 explosion, is now going to be 216 impact and 32 explosion, so a slight decrease there. Fully charged Gauss Rifle, 315 currently physical and 47 explosive, is getting a decrease to 309 impact and 46 explosion. Gauss Shotgun, fully charged, 285 impact, 43 explosion, increase to 390 impact and 59 explosion. So the Gauss Shotgun is going to be the way to go on that. Golf Club, 57 to 172. Guitar Sword, 59 physical, is now 142 physical, 15 bleed per second for 10 seconds. Handmade Rifle, 52 to 84. Hot damn. See you later, Sam. I'll be doing Bioshock 2. Thanks for coming and hanging out, man. Scooter to get back to my car. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, thank you guys for hitting the like button. Harpoon Gun, 245 to 330. Hatchet, 51 to 150. I feel like that they're just like reverting it back to what it was a long time ago. Like, I feel like they like decreased like the weapon output and then increased it. And I mean, like, it was increased, and so they decreased it because people were like running rampant, like one-shotting and killing everything, and then like people were complaining, so then like they decreased it, and then people were like, well, now it takes forever to do stuff, so then they stopped playing. And like, people want the OP weapons, like they really do. Like, we just need some weapons that are good for, you know, when we're doing stuff with groups of people. Like, I just feel like you need to have like a weapon that you can kind of spray and pray type thing, where like you're not trying to kill everything, you're just trying to get tags and like enjoy the game. And then like when you need to come out and be a badass or do something by yourself, you can completely do it and not have to worry about it. I mean, I love playing like, you know, only one player games or whatever, like solo games, like Borderlands or like Fallout 4, Fallout 3, like all that stuff. Like, I like to do that stuff and like completely be OP, but at the same time, like, I feel like I can't do that in a public server. They really want people to be melee and explosive build. Like I said, sounds like mostly positive changes. There will always be a weapon that's more powerful than another. Always. Always. Let's see here. Hatchet, 51 to 150. Hellstorm Missile Launcher, 178 to 206. Hunting Rifle, 171 to 285. Knuckles, 44 to 130. Laser, 72 to 64. Lead Pipe, 49 to 140. Lever Action Rifle, 133 to 182. Light Machine Gun, 42 to 37, so that got a decrease. M79 Grenade Launcher, 3 impact and 117 explosive, is now 3 impact and 522 explosion. Machete, 51 physical, is now 160 physical with 17 bleed per second for 11 seconds. Meat Cleaver, whopping 60 to 413. Meat Hook, 40 to 115. Medical Malpractice, 132 to 161. Minigun, slight increase, 24 to 25. Missile Launcher, 5 impact, 262 explosion. 5 impact, 968 explosion. So the missile launcher is getting a huge buff there. Mole Miner Gauntlet, 57 to 160. Mr. Handy Buzzblade got a decrease to 25 to 21. Multi-Purpose Axe, 87 to 204. Nuclear Grenade, 250 physical to 125 radiation. 751 physical to 244 radiation. Holy crap. So that thing's going to be a fucking powerhouse. Nuka Mine, 250 physical, 125 radiation, increased to 855 physical and 244 radiation. Nuka Quantum Grenade, 300 to 968. Jeez. Pickaxe, 76 to 204. Pipe bolt action, I guess pistol rifle, 150 to 330. Pipe revolver, 140 to 177. Pipe wrench, 38 to 140. Pipe, 42 to 66. Pitchfork, 59 to 52. Plasma caster, 76 physical, 76 energy, is now 87 and 87. Plasma cutter was 30 physical and 86 energy, is now 109 and 109. Plasma grenade, 200 physical and 200 energy, is now 300 and 300. Plasma grenade, 39 physical, 39 energy, is now 42, 42. Plasma mine, 200 and 200, is now 300 and 300. Pole hook is now 90, was 90, is now 194. Pole Q is 58 to 152. Power fist, 73 to 177. Plasma grenade, 175, 175 is now 346 and 346. Pulse mine, 175 energy per second for 2 seconds, is now 257 and 257. Pump action shotgun, 172 to 228. Pumpkin grenade, 80 explosion, 20 poison per second for 5 seconds, and 40 radiation per second for 5 seconds, is now 160 and 45 and 80. And it's instead of 5 seconds, is now 7 seconds. Radium, 42 to 66. Railway, 112 to 171. Revolutionary sword, 56 to 150. 14 bleed per second for 10 seconds. Ripper, 20 to 28. Rolling pin, 35 to 121. Salvaged assaultron head, 95 to 152. Sheep squatch club, 76 to 160. Sheep squatch shard, 75 physical, 25 poison. 15 poison per second for 7 seconds, is now 150 physical and 112 poison and 112 poison per second for 35 seconds. Sheep squatch staff, 95 to 257. Shepherd's crook is 63 to 231. Shish kebab, 34 physical and 20 fire, is now 64 and 64. Shovel, 51 to 182. Sickle, 45 physical, is now 130 physical with 12 bleed per second for 10 seconds. Single action revolver, 184 to 218. Ski sword, 63 physical, is now 142 physical per second. 4. And has, I don't think they finished that. I'm assuming they must have added some bleed damage or something to it. I mean, they have a mod that causes bleed damage already. Mr. Reaper, welcome, and thanks for the sub there. I'll be excited to look at this when I get off work in a few hours here. Yeah, man. The link's also in the description if you need it. Sledgehammer, 90 to 218. Spear, 68 to 142. Submachine gun, 47 to 52. Super sledge, 107 to 271. Switchblade, 38 to 80. Syringer. So bleed out 3 bleed per second for 10 seconds is now 65 bleed per second for 20 seconds. Rad Scorpion Venom, 16 poison per second for 10 seconds, is now 51 poison per second for 40 seconds. That is a long ass time. Tenderizer, 95 to 244. Tesla Cannon, 175 to 285. Tesla, 112 to 121. The Dragon, 541 to 1145. Hot damn. The Fixer, 59 to 103. Thirst Zapper, Nuka-Cola, 50 explosion, deals 10 radiation damage per second in the area for 30 seconds, is now 300 explosion, deals 12 radiation damage per second in the area for 20 seconds instead of 30 though. So that got a little bit of a decrease. It got an increase to how much radiation, but a decrease to how long for the effect. Nuka Cherry Explosion, 150 explosion, now 362 explosion, and deals 20 radiation damage per second in the area for 20 seconds. Nuka Quantum, 350 explosion, is now 547 explosion. Jesse, what is up? Welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. V63 Laser Combine, 59 to 47, so it got a decrease. This, I can't ever pronounce that. Zellwater, I can't remember. 107 to 244. Walking Cane, 53 to 121. War Drum, 99 to 228. Warglaive, 104 physical, is now 231 physical with 20 bleed per second for 10 seconds. Western Revolver, buff of 157 to 194. Additional weapon changes. Thrown weapons such as throwing knives, frag grenades, sheep squatch quills, and mines now scale with player level up to level 50. We don't throw sheep squatch quills. Don't we throw like shards or something? Yeah, shards. Whatever. It don't fucking matter. They now scale with player level up to level 50. Weapons which have a hold to change, like the Gauss weapons, or wait to charge. I read that wrong. Weapons which have a hold to charge, like the Gauss weapons, or a weight to charge, like the sniper lasers, now display their uncharged damage in the Pip-Boy and inspect menus rather than their fully charged damage. Weapons which can be fired in a partially charged state and have an explosive projectile, primarily the Gauss weapons, will now have their explosive damage scaled to the amount of charge. The Gauss minigun now gains increased damage when being fired for prolonged periods of time, peaking at plus 60% bonus damage. Bladed weapons now include a bleed physical damage effect over time. And then thrown item weight adjustments. So grenades and stuff are getting a decrease. Like baseball grenades, instead of weighing a pound, is going to be 0.6. Blast mines are being increased. Cryo grenades are being increased. Cryo mines are being increased. A lot of these are being increased. Dross toss is 0.25. Dynamite bundle is increased. Dynamite is increased. Flare is decreased. Frag grenades are getting an increase. Molotovs are getting a decrease. Nuclear grenades are getting an increase, 0.5 to 0.85. So if you're making nuclear grenades, be aware of that. Pulse mines are getting a decrease. Sheep squatch shards are getting a decrease. Tomahawks are getting a decrease. Throwing knives are, and vertibot signals are going from 1 pound to 0.1. Can you start over, please? Love your face. You're hilarious. Rewind. Rewind. Weapon bash damage. I was going to say, I've been going for like 30 minutes now, tequila, and I got to get to 2. I'm supposed to be starting a Bioshock stream, and I have a lot to go through still. Look at all this. I mean, like, we're just on weapons. I don't know if we'll be able to do the Bioshock stream. Let's see here. Thrown item weight adjustments. We did that. Piss. Weapon bash damage. Okay, so bash damage has been increased for the following weapons, making weapon bashing more practical. This synergizes with the changes to stock and bayonet mods listed below. Okay. You've been listening? Good, good, good. I look forward to the shooting things again with the dragon. There you go. Okay. Bash damage now scales with weapon level, so the values below are for the weapon's max level. Lower levels are scaled proportionately, it says. Okay, so who needs all this shit? How many people are bashing creatures with a 50 cal? 50 cal is going from 15 to 107. I mean, it makes sense. It's fucking huge, but Jesus. Let's see if we can find like minigun or something. Minigun, 15 to 104. The things will tear ass again. Poking a bear? Well, be careful. I don't think you're made of honey. Weight changes to grenades, yeah. Thrown items. Paddle ball's getting an increase for bash damage, 6 to 7. Railway rifle, 15 to 81. Bow, 10 to 57. Tesla cannon, 15 to 98. Thirst zapper, 5 to 20. I mean, most of that, like, makes sense, but at the same time, like, I mean, the only gun that I've ever seen anybody really use the bash damage on is minigun. And that one's 15 to 104, so that might be a powerful weapon again. So if you got a bash, anti-armor, or vampire's weapon, you might be wanting to hold on to that. Or you might be wanting to make a new one. I was going to say, the floater grenades are great to carry around, like to have a few, because like if enemies get stuck in a wall or something, you can use those to get them out, like Earl, or like if you're at Daily Ops and there's something stuck in a wall. It really does kind of come in clutch. Thank you guys for all the likes. We almost got 15. Weapon ranges. We've adjusted the range for most player weapons to shore up some of the shortest range weapon types, such as shotguns, and to help differentiate many weapon classes that previously coalesced into about a 204 to 288 feet of range when modded. Explosive launchers' range is primarily derived from their projectile, so these numbers serve as a rough guide for their effective range. Note, mods can have a strong impact on weapon ranges, so the numbers listed here are for the base weapon and short barrel. So weapon ranges, it doesn't say what the difference is, so I'm not sure. But like here are all the big ones. Is there any, let's see. Like 50 cal is 103. A combat shotgun is 79. The combat rifle is 165. Bows are 154. Alien disintegrator is 149. Enclave plasma gun is 93. Gat laser is 132. Gat plasma is 118. Handmade is 124. Hellstorm missile launcher is 193. Light machine guns 132. Miniguns 140. Paddle ball is 22. Pepper shaker is 88. Plasma caster is 132. Railway rifles 116. Tesla rifles 124. Dragons 139. Ultrasight gat laser is 132. Ultrasight laser gun is 110. V63 laser carbines 136. Additional changes for range. Weapons now have reduced damage when exceeding their maximum range down to 10% at double their maximum range. Previously, we had modified most weapons to scale to 50% damage at their maximum range. This is unchanged. The change mentioned above only applies as weapons exceed their maximum range. Okay. Jedi Zombie, welcome. Long time no see. How are you? No, it's a whole bunch. It's weapons, it's thrown weapons, it's melee, it's everything. Weapon AP costs. AP costs have been adjusted for the following weapons. This is a lot of shit. Let's see. Auto axe is increased. Just FYI, you're gonna eat through that real fast, so you're not gonna have as much power. Auto axe is being increased from 4 to 9. Saltron blade 35 to 26. Baseball bat 35 to 40. Bear arm 40 to 32. Let's see. Chainsaw 4 to 9, so chainsaw is also being negatively affected by that. Drill is also being affected 4 to 8. Mole Miner Gauntlet 40 to 31, so that one's being decreased. Mr. Handy Buzzblade is 4 to 8, so that one's being doubled. Power Fist 35 to 33. Single Actual Revolver 35 to 24. I feel like all this is mainly melee weapons, and they got the Single Action Revolver up in there. Ultrasight Laser 17 to 14. Ultrasight Terror Sword 35 to 51. Jeez. V63 Laser Carbine 30 to 40. V63 Zweld-Hander. I can't ever do it. 45 to 47. Whacker Smacker. Let's see here. Weapons Sneak Attack Multipliers. So most of these are getting an increase for the sneak attack. Black powder rifles 2 to 3. Most of these are melee. Compound bows 2 to 2.75. Crossbows 2 to 2.25. Mole Miner Gauntlets 2 to 4. Protest Sign 2 to 2.5. Tesla Cannons 2 to 3. Tenderizers 2 to 2.25. Thirst Zappers 2 to 2.25. Rich, welcome. How are you? I'm doing fantastic, man. Mike, what is up? Long time no see. Ultrasight ammo is no longer going to drop. That's a bunch of bullshit. Waiting for Carl. But Richard, yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Weapon critical attack multipliers. Let's see. Most of these are all melee as well. Auto grenade launcher 2 to 2.25. Alien blaster 2.25 to 2.5. Auto axe 24 to 32. Broadsider 2 to 2.5. Compound bow 2 to 2.25. Croquet mallet? Do we have a croquet mallet in this game? Has anybody ever seen a croquet mallet as a weapon? 2 to 3 it says. I need to know if we have a croquet mallet. Did they just leak something? Like, I don't remember ever seeing that. Ever. I feel like it's in like London or something. Let's see here. Fat Man 2 to 2.25. They mean Commie Whacker, you think? Commie Whacker. No, Commie Whacker's right here, dude. It says 2 to 3. The croquet mallet is 2 to 3 as well. Maybe. But still, they shouldn't do it on a skin. Missile launchers 2 to 2.25. Mold miner gauntlets 2 to 4. Paddle balls 2 to 2.25. Power fist is 2 to 2.25. Tenderizers 2 to 3. Tesla cannons 2 to 3. Dragons 2 to 3. Thirst zappers 2 to 2.25. Weapon mods. The vast majority of melee and ranged weapon mods have been updated to have more consistent and intuitive effects and to offer additional choices for a variety of playstyles. There are far too many changes to list. Well over 1,000 mods have been updated. So instead, here's some highlights for common mods. Note, the effects listed per mod are relative to the base version of the weapon and not relative to the prior version of the mod. Stub barrels. Stub barrels now make a weapon easier to use while moving at short range. Increase minimum cone of fire, reduce maximum cone of fire, increase minimum recoil, reduce maximum recoil. 10% AP cost, 15% faster transition to aiming down sights, and 25% faster draw speed. Medium long barrels. While the long range for medium and long barrels makes it easier to hit targets for both in manual aim and VATS and preserve more of your damage when firing at distant targets, they're now a bit more difficult to use on the go. Reduced minimum recoil, increased maximum recoil and cone of fire, increased draw time, slower transition to aiming down sights. Weapon scopes, and sights. I hope that fucking Activision came in to help them with this shit. I think it's an Atom Shop weapon. Huh, interesting. Glow sights now increase VATS accuracy and reduce a weapon's AP cost by 20%. Front sight rings now make a weapon more precise while aiming and reduce the weapon's maximum cone of fire. Muzzle mods. Compensators now reduce a weapon's initial recoil and greatly increase the amount of shots that can be fired before reaching maximum recoil. Muzzle brakes reduce a weapon's minimum and maximum recoil and reduce the amount of lateral movement from recoil. Along with reducing the volume of each shot and slightly reducing recoil, suppressors now grant a 50% bonus to sneak attack damage. Bleed fire and poison mods. Changes have been made to fire and poison mods to offer better damage over time. We've also made changes to some of these mods to convert more of their original damage to fire or poison. Mods that add blades to weapons now more consistently have a bleed or physical damage over time effect. The damage from this effect has been greatly increased. Thank God for that. I wonder if they're going to do it with the Thorn Armor. I want to know if the Thorn Armor is going to stack it up real nice. Receiver mods. Mods which change the ammo type of a weapon have been modified to better reflect the increase or decrease in ammo strength. Stronger ammo will typically have higher AP cost, lower durability, and be harder to control in manual aim. Weaker ammo will typically have lower AP cost and be easier to control and maintain. Now, the choice of which ammo to use on a weapon is more about whether you want a more comfortable, lower maintenance experience with a weaker ammo type, or instead push the weapon further with stronger ammo at the cost of increased difficulty of use and more expensive maintenance. Similar to ammo type conversion mods, which use a stronger ammo type, hardened receivers now have additional recoil and higher AP cost. Critical receivers now also increase a weapon's AP cost. Stocks and bayonets. Paired with the damage increases on the weapons themselves, switching from a grip to a stock or adding a bayonet or both will greatly improve bash damage. Prime receivers. Prime receivers have been modified to be vastly more powerful but overall more expensive to use. Not only will players need to more actively seek out ultrasight ammo. See the ammo changes section below, but weapons with prime receivers will be a bit harder to handle than before. The major changes for prime receivers are as follows. 100% bonus damage instead of 25%. 20% longer range. 25% AP cost. So increased AP cost. Higher recoil and maximum cone of fire, and 10% slower rate of fire. What the fuck? That's some old bullshit. Strangleheart's got poison on it, not bleed. But I will be interested to know if they do anything with that, but I'm sure they're probably not. Let's see here. Semi-automatic to automatic weapon mods. In addition to the earlier base damage, sneak damage, and VATS critical attach damage changes from the Gone Fission update, automatic mods for semi-automatic weapons also have the following changes relative to the unmodded weapons. 30% higher higher ammo capacity, 17.5% reduced range, 7.5% increased weight, 7.5% reduced durability, 30% increased value, and higher maximum recoil and cone of fire. Okay, so now we have more bullets. Yay. And everything's going to weigh a shit pile. Miscellaneous mod changes. Change the duplicate automatic 38 receiver for the pipe gun to instead be an automatic 45 receiver. Fixed an issue where laser and plasma weapon mods, which added fire damage, only had fire damage over time instead of also having fire damage on hit. Damage from sniper charging mods on laser weapons has been greatly increased. Bonus damage, armor penetration, increased limb damage, bleed damage, etc. from heavy, barbed, bladed, spiked, puncturing, and other mods on melee weapons is now applied much more consistently relative to the mod's name and appearance. Ammo changes. The light machine gun now uses 45 caliber ammo instead of 308 ammo. That's something you guys definitely need to know. Kira, welcome. How are you? When did so right now it's going to be on the PTS only. The PTS hasn't even started, so it's not going to be till September probably. Thank you guys. We got 20 likes. All right. Gauss weapons and 2mm EC. We've made a few changes with the goal of easing the high ammo cost of using a Gauss minigun. The crafting yields and contextual ammo drop rates for 2mm EC ammo have been increased. Gauss pistol now uses 2 ammo per shot and has 18 round clips. Gauss rifle now uses 3 ammo per shot and has a 15 round clip. Gauss shotgun now uses 5 ammo per shot and has a 40 round clip. They're doing too much, a little bit. I think that people are going to probably fight back on some of these, so they probably won't make it. Ultra sight ammo. As mentioned above, prime receivers are now much more powerful. Ultra sight ammo is now geared towards being specialized ammo that players use when they need a large boost in firepower over regular ammo. Ultra sight ammo is no longer included in contextual ammo drops. Instead, you'll receive randomized. That's so much bullshit. They should at least give you what you're doing. So, like, if you got a fixer that has the ultra sight ammo, like, you should be getting 45 rounds that are regular. So that way, like, we need to be able to convert these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be able to convert them, not just make new. Like, if you're going to take that away, at least give us the option to convert. Radstorm and glowing creature changes. In order to increase the availability of materials used for crafting ultra sight ammo, we made the following changes. Radstorms are slightly more common across Appalachia. Nuka-floors such as bomb berries and flash ferns now have a chance to appear in radstorms. Glowing creatures now have a chance to appear in radstorms. So are they going to show us when radstorms are happening, like where they're happening at? Like, you know, kind of like Shenandoah Valley or something, like, or what? Skyline Valley, not Shenandoah. That's where I live. Anyway. Glowing creatures will often scale slightly above players' levels up to level 100. Glowing creatures now scale more appropriately for lower level players. Glowing creatures can drop hardened mass and similar nuke-only materials during radstorms, including glowing creatures that would have spawned regardless of the radstorm. Miscellaneous combat changes. Addressed an issue where limb damage to enemies wouldn't correctly scale with player level. The auto axe and chainsaw attack speeds have been reduced from about 27 hits per second to 14 hits per second. These weapons should no longer differ in attack speeds between first and third person views. So, bash damage on miniguns is definitely going to be a thing now. So if you got a weapon, and the anti-armor and the vampires definitely worked very well. Let's see. Fixed an incorrect firing sound for the 10mm tweaked automatic receiver. Improved loot from petrified corpses common in Morgantown Airport and other locations. I wonder how they improved the loot. Reduce the impact of luck on the rate at which the VAT's critical attack meter fills. Situations where the player would fill the meter in 2 hits will now be closer to 3 to 4 shots. So you're never going to be able to crit every other shot anymore. Explosions from nuclear grenades no longer ignore line of sight. So no more going through the walls. Reduce the damage of the Vox syringes so players are less likely to kill smaller targets. Sneak damage is now multiplicative instead of additive, meaning sneak attacks can hit much harder than before. I don't want to be a stealth player. Adjust the range and flight characteristics of the Thirst Zapper Nuka mod projectiles. Increase the speed of the baseball grenade projectile. Ghoul Feral accuracy reduction now reduces VAT's hit chance to 30% in addition to the unchanged 300% cone of fire increase. Bonus limb damage from Twisted Muscles no longer works with ranged weapons. Twisted Muscles now reduces VAT's chance by 30% in addition to the unchanged 50% cone of fire increase. Vulcan Power Armor Gimbal Bracers mod. Cone of fire reduction 60% is now 80. No, 60%, 80% is now 20 and 40. Scope stability increase, it was 20 and 40, is now 10 and 20. So it's not all that great. Perk adjustments. Crack shot cone of fire reduction 15, 30, and 45 is now 10, 20, and 30. Ground pounder cone of fire reduction is 15, 30, and 45 is now 10, 20, and 30. All these are 10, 20, and 30. So modern renegade cone of fire reduction decreased to 10, 20, 30. Stabilized cone of fire reduction is 10, 20, 30. Stabilizer's 4-star legendary mod. Cone of fire reduction 50 to 35%. Scope stability increase was negative 50%. Is that what that says? Negative 50% is 20%. Note bug fix. Yeah, I was going to say, it used to drop, but like you have to like loot like 15 or 20 of those stupid things to get anything out of them. It says that they increased it. I don't know. But what are they going to drop? Since many low-performing weapons have received significant damage increases, medium player damage is now much higher. To account for this, we've adjusted the health and resistances of the following creatures. Good God, dude. Why even change it? I don't understand why are they changing it? If they're going to change all the enemies, then why are they changing the weapons? Like, just keep it the same. If there's no changes, don't change anything. I feel like they're doing all this work that doesn't need to be done if they're just balancing everything to be the exact same. Like, it's like washing your hands with I don't fucking know, poop or something, and saying that you washed your hands, but you just put more shit on it. I don't know. Does anybody else have any idea on that one? Because that just sounds stupid to me. Anyway. These creatures also have additional contrast in the resistances to better highlight their strengths and weaknesses versus each damage type. Hostile turrets not in player camps and workshops. Super mutants, mole miners, enemies in power armor, protectrons, rad scorpion, robo-brains, assaultrons, fog crawlers, hermit crab, sentry bot, deathclaw, super mutant behemoth, grafted monster, scorch beast, mirelurk queen, storm goliath, ultrasight abomination, scorch beast queen, and ultrasight terror. Miscellaneous enemy changes. Liberator lasers now deal energy damage instead of physical damage. A few Deathclaw attacks, which dealt 200% damage, now deal 150 damage. No, make them more deadly. I want them to be scarier. Deathclaw move speed was increased by 10%. That'll be fun. Deathclaw combat behavior modified to be slightly more aggressive and more melee focused. Most robots are now immune to bleed damage over time effects. Robots with an organic component such as robo-brains has been excluded from... Why? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, poop hands, exactly. Adjusted the damage of the volatile mutation seen in daily ops. This effect no longer ignores armor. Now deals damage similar to other explosions rather than a percentage of players' max health. Perks. In this update, we are finishing up our rebalancing of weapon perks, which include the heavy, melee, thrown, and bow weapons. Heavy gunner perks are being replaced with perks that focus on spending ammo to gain bonuses, along with a highly requested perk to decrease the spin-up time on weapons. Melee perks are moving away from one-hand and two-hand designations, and instead these perks will lean into more general properties of melee weapons such as bleed and power attacks. Bow perks will be benefiting thrown melee as well as the bow weapons with new ways to take down groups of enemies. That does not make any sense. Will be benefiting thrown melee. Benefiting from, changing to, I don't fucking know what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, we're also standardizing perks and mods that grant the ability to automatically revive. Perks with these effects now bypass going into down state. Have a 100% chance to occur, have a cooldown, and require the use of healing items such as stim packs. In addition, all effects that apply buffs to other players you revive will apply to yourself when self-reviving. The order in which these effects can occur is fixed. Scouts banners, EMT perk, life-saving mode, and power armor reboot perk. Perk card changes. Slugger. Rank 1 is 10% damage versus crippled. Rank 2 is 20%. Rank 3 is 30. Slugger expert. New name, kneecapper. Point cost is 2. Blunt melee weapons deal 100% limb damage. Slugger master, heavy hitter. New name is the heavy hitter card. Point cost is going to be 3. Rank 1. Blunt melee weapons deal 50% power attack damage. Gladiator. New name, Wound Salter. That's so stupid. Rank 1 is 10% damage against bleeding enemies. Rank 2 is 20%, and rank 3 is 30. Gladiator expert is now Meat Mincer. Point cost is going to be 2. Rank 1, bladed melee weapons. Gain 20% swing speed. Gladiator master is Bloodluster. Is going to cost 3 points. Rank 1, your bleed effects have a 35% more damage and 25% less duration. Okay. Iron Fist. Rank 1. Your fist weapons deal more damage based on your damage resistance. Heavy Gunner. New name, Drum Corpse. Rank 1. Gain 1 stack of Bullet Storm for every 50 ammo spent up to 10 stacks. Each stack increases damage by 3%. Resets when you reload or change weapons. Rank 2. 6% damage per stack of Bullet Storm. Rank 3. 9% damage per stack of Bullet Storm. Note, on Bulletstorm, the perk Drum Corpse grants the ability to gain a stacking buff based on ammo spent. This buff increases the damage you deal, and other perks can add additional effects. You can have up to 10 stacks of Bulletstorm, and they last until you change the weapon or reload. They're all for blunt, which means auto axe no longer scales with Slugger. Yep. Heavy Gunner Expert. New name, Tightly Wound. Cost 2. Weapons spin up faster. Heavy Gunner Master, now called Bringing the Big Guns. Cost 3 points. Your Bulletstorm stack limit is doubled. Lock and Load. Point cost is now 2. Rank 1, you keep half of your Bulletstorm stacks when you reload. Each stack increases reload speed by 1%. Bear Arms. Rank 1, each stack of Bulletstorm increases your bash damage by 5%. We have a Basher card. What in the fuck? Just do it for Basher. I don't know. Pain Train. Improved hit detection and limited hit rate. Counts as fist weapon. Increased base damage and damage per... Increased base damage and damage per rank. Uses 5 AP per hit. Bow Before Me. Rank 1, 20% armor penetration and 5% stagger with bows or thrown melee. Rank 2, 40% armor penetration and 10% stagger with bows or thrown melee. Archer. New name is Hat Trick. Rank 1. Arrows and thrown melee weapons bounce towards an additional target dealing 8% damage. Rank 2 is the same and so is rank 3. It all says 8% damage. Dev Note. The damage is reduced to 8% each bounce. Bounce range is based on the weapon's range. What the fuck? I don't understand. Lana, welcome. How are you? It is a little overloaded. Some of the stuff, like I was trying to explain earlier, like sometimes things sound really good, and then like when you see it in practice, you're like, what the fuck happened? Like they said that this was going to increase, but it actually didn't. And then sometimes they say that they're decreasing the damage of a weapon, but then like when they do the notes, it says that it's like way increased, and then like the weapon sucks. So like I don't ever know what's going to actually happen. But I go through and do all this so that way I can try to figure it out. But some of this stuff I'm just like, I don't know what the hell, like the Hat Trick, it all says the exact same thing, except, okay, I see it. So rank 2, you get 2 additional bounces, and rank 3, you get 3 additional bounces. But still, that's weird. Archer Expert, new name is Deal Sealer. Its point cost is going to be 2 points now. It deals 10% damage for each impairment your target has. Dev Note, impairments are crippled, bleeding, burning, poisoned. This info is shown in the Pip-Boy Effects tab. What? Okay, but whatever. I'm not even going to get into why I'm saying what. Because I just feel like it's just too fucking convoluted to even make sense. Nan, what's up? Tequila's got eviction notice if anybody wants to go to Tequila. Her tag is the same as her gamer tag on Xbox. Okay, Archer Master, point cost 3, rank 1 arrow and thrown melee weapons pierce targets. Fire in the hole, new name, Strong Arm. Rank 1 thrown weapons fly 50% further. Dev note, the throwing arc effect has been moved to the settings menu. So I guess like if you want that arc, you just turn it on in settings instead of having to have a perk card, which is okay. I barely know what the perks do anymore. Yeah, I was going to say it's gotten to be a little out of hand. I'm hoping that like once they stop messing with stuff and stop renaming everything, I just wish they would just go in and just give us new cards at this point. Like that would be easier to keep up with than like switching everything from perception to fucking luck and then like everything doing different stuff and then renaming everything. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, like most of it sounds pretty good, Lone. Some of it sounds pretty good, I have to say, but some of it sounds ridiculous. Anyway, let's get back into this. Homebody, rank 1, improved benefits of being well-rested. Dev note, well-rested grants +2 agility. Kindred spirit grants +2 perception. Lover's embrace grants +2 charisma. So that means you only get one of those. So do you guys know how you get these? Well-rested, you get at sleeping in a bed. Anywhere, your bed, somebody else's bed, bed in a tent. Kindred spirit is if you have a whatchamacallit at your camp, an ally. If you have an ally at your camp, you can get kindred spirit. Lover's embrace you get from the ones that you can actually romance. And the kindred spirit and lover's embrace last longer than well rested. EMT point cost 2, rank 1, automatically revive a down teammate once every 3 minutes and grant them increased healing for 1 minute. Dev note, both players need to be in the same area or interior and within a reasonable distance. Injector, rank 1, players you revive have 18 AP regen for 1 minute. Revenant, one player, rank 1, players you revive have 25% damage for 2 minutes. Healing Hands, rank 1, players you revive are fully healed. Didn't they just say just a second ago that these things would actually apply to also to the player? Or did I misread that? Like, I feel like that was like up 1,000 pages ago. Rad Sponge, rank 1, absorb 10% of rads taken and restore hunger and thirst. Rank 2 is 20 and rank 3 is 30. Ninja, rank 1, 50% sneak attack damage with melee and bows. Rank 2 is 100%. Dev note, extending this perk to bows and thrown weapons. Psychopath, rank 1, hits outside VATS, refill your crit meter at 5% contribution. Rank 2, hits outside VATS, refill your crit meter by 10%, and rank 3 is 15%. Grim Reaper Sprint now costs 2 points. Rank 1, gain 10% action point regen per kill while on a kill streak with a max of 10. Bloody Mess. Rank 1, bleeding enemies. Okay, rank 1, bleeding enemies you kill have a chance to explode based on your luck. Rank 2, bleeding enemies you kill have a chance to explode for more damage based on your luck. And then rank 3, bleeding enemies you kill have a chance to explode for more damage based on your luck. Dev note, added damage to the gore explosion that scales with each rank and player level. This explosion does not damage you. Increased chance to proc with chance increasing with luck. Bloody Mess has a small chance to proc without the perk based on luck. What the fuck? I don't know. Power Armor Reboot. Rank 1, automatically revive using a small... Power Armor Reboot. Rank 1, automatically revive using a stim pack 1. Power Armor cooldown is 10 minutes. Rank 2 is 8 minute cooldown. Rank 3 is 6 minute cooldown. And rank 4 is a 2 minute cooldown. Dev note, the random chance was removed and a cooldown added. I just redid my heavy gun build for Ghoul. This will upset his loadout. Yes, it will. But this isn't going to be till September, so you can enjoy it till then. Hack and Slash. And you got to remember, this is going to be going with the PTS first, so like they're probably going to change all this again before it even comes out. So when the server maintenance is down, I'll be going over all the actual changes then. Hack and Slash, rank 1, melee attacks deal 20% of their damage in a small area. Rank 2 is 30, rank 3 is 40, and rank 4 is 60. Legendary mods, life saving. Chance to auto-revive increased from 50 to 100% and added a 5-minute cooldown that is reduced by 1 minute per additional piece. Lucky, renamed to Lucky Hit. Rejuvenators now adds HP and AP regen to the Hunger and Thirst abilities. Full Rejuvenated perk card rank 2 provides 6 HP and 8 AP regen. Full Rejuvenator perk rank 1 provides 4 HP and AP regen. Full provides 3 HP and AP regen. Will provides 2 HP and AP regen. Normal provides 1 HP and AP regen. And partial provides 1 HP and AP regen. I'm going to guess that's going to be less than 1. Choo-choos. This effect has been overhauled to use the Pain Train perk. Each item equipped with this mod gains plus 1 rank to the Pain Train. This can go beyond the max rank of 3 and works even if you do not have the perk equipped. It also adds an on-hit bleeding effect to Pain Train that scales with more choo-choo mods equipped. Workbench. Weapons workbench categories have been renamed for better sorting. Remove bows from the machine guns category and group with thrown weapons are under a new category named Ranged Survival. Melee has 2 new categories, Fist and Power Tools. Rename the melee categories from edged weapons to sharp weapons. Remove the Ultra Sight category. Consumables. Steeped Ash Rose Tea duration increased to an hour. Gameplay. Floating damage numbers now have a random offset. Damage over time effects now display floating damage numbers. Weapons. Unarmed tag renamed to Fist. First weapons now include either the blunt or sharp tags. Automatic melee has been renamed to Power Tool and clarified the cursed description. Bye-bye damage. No bloody mess was 15% damage. So sad. Still trying to get my heavy gun done since the changes playing around with crap and being ghoul. Sounds like blade mess may be useless. We'll see. Fishing. Inspecting a fish now shows how many of it you have caught. Dev note, this stat is unfortunately not retroactive and will only count from fish from this patch forward. Menu. Help entries are now sorted alphabetically in all languages. Help menu entry for impairments added. There we go. So we made it. I don't know what to fucking think. I don't know if you guys know what to think. Quiver, welcome. I just got in. Did they fix ammunition perk cards? No, they didn't. I was going to say, that stuff was fixed a while ago. They've been working. I don't know about all of them, but I know Super Dupe's working. But, because I definitely used them the other day and they popped. But there's so many changes, and this is just PTS, meaning that like when the PTS goes live, they'll be in there, and then they're going to take your feedback and everybody that plays feedback, and they're going to go over it again, and then in September they'll implement what they need to implement, and then some things they probably won't implement, and then they'll even be dragged out till the December update. But yes. All right, if nobody has any questions, I am going to head out. I will be back on live in a couple minutes doing BioShock 2. So come hang out if you guys want to. Just see if anybody says anything real quick. Yeah, no problem, Quivery. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you, man. I try to do the best I can with what I got, man. But I appreciate you so much. But all this stuff is just, it's not set in stone yet. Try not to get too concerned about it. I think some of the stuff they're going to get pushed back, especially the Ultra Sight ammo. Later, Tater. Yep, you're very welcome. I love you guys. Take care. Be kind to one another and take care of each other. Bye.